Hi everybody, it's Anne Basili, a level 3 QHHT practitioner. And my last QHHT session revealed some beautiful information about the new earth and what's happening to the earth, what's happening to us, and where we are at in this transition. Now, the life that she did experience, she had a couple of experiences, one as a creator being. And as this creator being, she was able to do and be whatever she wanted. She was at the time creating a planet, a new planet, a blue planet, similar to Earth but not Earth, and just playing around and creating and explaining how, first of all, you use the gases and how the gases all interact and how there's colour and light and then it's a form. And through that process, it's just will. It's just as you want it, it becomes. It's a very easy process for her. And she'd been doing this for a very long time, and the swirling colours, she enjoyed the creativity. Now, it was interesting because in this current life, she had lost her drive for creativity, and even though she knew that she wanted to do it, she had a block. And so some of that information was important for her to remember that she is a creator being, and that all she has to do is create it for fun and for enjoyment, not for a purpose in this life, not to attach ego to it, to just be and create without an outcome expected. So that was the first part of the information that came through for her that was relevant to her life now. Now, the second life or experience she had, she was in a Native American indigenous tribe. And at the time, she was a young woman, and the scene that she came into was one of sheer panic. She was on a horse, and she was riding as fast as she could. She knew and felt that she was being chased by someone not of her people, and that there was danger afoot. So she was heading to an outpost. An outpost is a place that's up high on a cliff top where a group of people, of her people, keep watch. So they keep watch on all the surrounding lands, and they're able to warn each other if there's danger coming. So she was riding as fast as she could to get to this outpost. When she arrived there in this sheer panic and fear and absolute distress, she was approached by a very old, wise, beautiful man who just took her by the face and held her face and just told her to be calm and not to worry. And even though she felt that this was the ending for them, that there was this impending danger and doom, he was not worried. And he said, do not worry. Let that fear go. Let the panic go. Let all of that go. And in other words, to rise above. And with the rising above into the new energy or a higher frequency, they become invisible. So what he instructed was to everybody to sit in a circle around a fire that was burning amongst the dwellings that were there. There were about 5 dwellings in the traditional style of skins on with poles. And they all sat around this fire, and he began to use sound, not singing. She said it was just toning, and the others in the group would tone together, like harmonize. And she said what that does obviously is gets everybody to be calm and grounded, but also what it did was lift them into this higher frequency, so they just disappeared. They no longer existed in that 3-dimensional place that they were in when the fear was there. And that was incredibly important, because it means that we can actually shift our vibration of frequency and exist in a completely different dimension, a parallel dimension, where we are no longer visible to those in the lower. We are no longer visible to the threat, but we cannot feed into the threat or the fear, because that attracts. And this is what the old man was saying to her. Your fear was attracting this person to you to follow you and threaten you. When we're all in fear, the fear brings and attracts to us. And so we bring that threat to us directly. But if we let that go and move into a heart-centered, beautiful, calm space, we are invisible. So what the high self had explained was that when that happened, they literally disappeared physically and moved into the fifth dimension, a higher frequency, earth. So they were there, but they were not there, and they were not able to be harmed. So after that, moving in the information from the high self was explaining that this is very crucial information for not just for her in this lifetime, but for all of us in this lifetime, to do with the new earth and how that is experienced. Now, the new earth apparently has already shifted. She has already split in the two. They are now coexisting, a three-dimensional earth and a fifth-dimensional earth. Coexisting side by side. This is the latest update from only a few days ago. And what this means is that the earth has already chosen her destination and has reached that, which is amazing. So the experiment for her has been successful. As for the humans, they said there is two experiences coexisting. And you can choose to be in the fear dimension, which is the 3D one, which is happening now, which is the one full of wars, of drama, of chaos, of outrage, of anger, of grief, of sadness. Everything that we do not want is actually existing there. And the more we look at that and the more we participate in that and give our attention to it, even if we're feeling helpless and hopeless and we're looking at this stuff, feeding this into our brains, we are staying in that density. We are not moving forward or lifting ourselves up from it. So the suggestion or the recommendation is to continually strive to rise from that feeling, to turn away and to give your attention to being calm and grounded and peaceful and lifting up from the heart and allowing that to experience in its own right in that three-dimensional earth. Now, by doing so, you are quite literally disappearing from that field. Now, some people are explaining this as coming and going in different timelines. They're feeling timeline shifts. What is actually happening is they're flicking between 3D, 5D, 3D, 5D. It's like nobody's really stabilized it yet, but what's happening is it is happening. A lot of people have already shifted into that higher frequency by choice and are experiencing a very different earth experience, a calmer one. But in saying that, they also can flick back to the three dimension if they turn their attention to that energy in the 3D dimension, into the drama, into the chaos. It's very easy to pull yourself back down and to get fearful. And the moment you do that, you're out of 5D and you're back in that density. So it is almost a daily chore or daily consciousness of making sure that you know where your attention is and bringing yourself out of that older one and directing it into the newer one, the higher one. So that's what's happening. So there are people who are already there living that, and some of us are experiencing that and have been for many years. But also in saying that, there is a role that some people are playing, like myself, probably like yourself, with the healers. We're bridges, so we're coming and going between the two. This is very important. We chose this. So we're flicking between the two different realms or the two different dimensions to help the lower come to the higher. And so we bridge, but sometimes it's too dense, so we have to leave it and come into the fifth and, rest and recharge and then go back. And so this is happening also. As for those that are staying in that third dimensional frequency, that is choice. They want to be there and experience that. And what the high self says is that they will learn and move on, but perhaps not in the way that's happening currently. It'll be a longer process, and perhaps one that they will repeat in a different place in a different way. Now, the whole idea is to not be afraid, to not be sad, to be okay, to let go of the old and embrace the new. And those that are left behind, it is okay. They're learning through that. And even if they're not learning, well, they get a chance to do it again. Remember, this is not the end game. This is not the end of the story. The story continues and will continue. But the beautiful thing is that we are moving if we choose to. We can exist in a parallel dimension to the current crazy, chaotic earth. In the new one, which is higher, we can quite literally become invisible and lift ourselves off into that new experience. Now, obviously, to stay completely in that will take some practice, and it may take a while for us to completely ground into that fully. And that may also mean that physically we no longer exist, but we become light. So it's a longer process, but one that we can begin consciously to be aware of and to attain. So this is the update of the recent session. One for everybody to be aware of, one for all of us to know and have confirmation and reaffirmation of maybe the things that we think are true that we can do, and also just comfort to know that this is actually a reality, and that the indigenous tribes were doing this long before we've even heard about it. They were able to do it. And just for confirmation or support on that, Dolores Cannon did talk about this in some of her books. That's the older ancient tribes or civilizations like the Mayans did actually shift their vibration and disappear and move up. That was what happened. They didn't, die out. They actually just lifted up and moved on to the next plane. So this is just another separate incident that gives confirmation or reaffirmation for that came through many years ago through her clients. So it's consistent. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. I hope this information has been helpful. I hope that you are inspired to continue to strive for remaining out of the chaos and the drama and the fear, and turn away, turn off, switch off. You really have the power to do that. Become invisible. Choose wisely. Choose where your energy can be directed. You can do this with the meditation. Just do it. Be in nature. Go out. Do things that make you laugh and have fun. Don't get bogged down into the negativity. If you need to check it out because that is your nature to check out the drama, know it and let it go. Know it and let it go. But there has, unfortunately, a capacity to infiltrate. When we put our energy onto that, it does infiltrate into the psyche and into the system. So you're going to have to do some clearing quite regularly if you are deciding to be a part of that. And for all the healers out there that are doing their beautiful work, remember, recharge in 5D, go back to 3D help, be the bridge, be the light, be that lighthouse in the darkness. Don't lose yourself in the chaos and the drama. Stay high. Okay, I love you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Bye.